Hello and welcome to another info session here at TripToGo. I'm Chari and today we're excited to bring you a closer look to Uganda. Joining us today is our special guest from a local DMC in Uganda.
Hi, my name is Ether Birungi from Uganda, Churchill Safaris and Travel, a DMC that will take care of you and answer all your questions.
Thank you so much and welcome to TripToGo.
Thank you.
So here we'll share some insider tips, unique experiences, and of course, what makes Uganda such a must-visit destination. So let's get started. My first question is, what makes Uganda stand out compared to other African destinations like Kenya, Tanzania, or Rwanda?
Well, first of all, Uganda, what makes Uganda stand out, first of all, are the mountain gorillas. Half of the world's recorded mountain gorillas can only be found in Uganda, the other half in Rwanda and Congo. But definitely for Uganda, what stands out are the mountain gorillas, and then we have the different ecosystems. We have the savanna, we have the wetlands, we have the forest, all in one country. So that is amazing. And of course, we have the source of the Nile, which is also amazing, and the different cultures.
That's nice.
Yes.
Thank you. And for travelers who've already explored other parts of Africa, what's one thing that they'll find different in Uganda?
The one thing people would find different, other travelers will find different in Uganda, is the culture. Uganda has 54 different dialects. And every dialect means a different culture, different language, different way of dressing, different foods, different dishes. So it's just amazing. The different cultures are different. And of course, the landscape is different. We have a lot of natural landscapes in Uganda. We have forests, we have the mountains, and then we have the lakes as well. We have Lake Victoria, which is the largest in East Africa.
What are some must-do activities you recommend to travelers? Maybe like gorilla trekking, wildlife safari?
Yeah, like I said, gorilla trekking is one of the biggest things. So other travelers that have been in other African countries, some of the things that they should try out in Uganda or Rwanda as well are the mountain gorillas, the cultural activities. We have a lot of food, different foods, and all our foods are organic. And we have a lot of culture, and those are some of the things that they should try out as well.
So can you share a hidden gem or off-beaten path experience that travelers should try in Uganda?
Yeah, we do have some national parks are actually very unique. If you're somebody that doesn't want to go in places where they are crowded, you know, like where you go with other East African countries like Kenya, Tanzania, and then there is a whole lot of like 5 lions being followed by like 1,000 vehicles. So Uganda is a place that you can come to, and in particular, say like Kidepo National Park in the north, if you want to visit a place without crowded, you know, without crowds, that is one of the places that you can actually visit. And then we have Sipi Falls as well. It's in the east. That is another one. And then the other unique thing that people shouldn't miss out is the culture in Karamoja in the northern Uganda. It's such amazing. So people should try out that one as well. But of course, the key activities among the many that you should visit Uganda, if you shouldn't miss out on gorilla tracking, you shouldn't miss out on chimpanzee tracking, you shouldn't miss out on cultural activities, immersing yourself in culture, trying out the different foods, cooking lessons in the different parts of the country. Like I said, that we have different groups doing things that are also different. So cooking lessons is one of the things. And then the other things is that we're actually so big on sustainability and conservation. We do work with communities, and we encourage our clients to come. When you're coming to Uganda, park for a purpose. Park for a purpose, for conservation, come to work with the communities, to support the communities. And those are some of the things that you shouldn't miss out to do when you come to Uganda.
Wow, that's good to hear. And how close do you get to the animals when you do the wildlife experience?
Well, it actually depends on what you're doing. But to be honest with you, for example, if you're doing gorilla tracking, you can the gorillas can come close like 5 meters.
Wow.
Last month, okay, now we are in June, but in April, I just redid another gorilla trekking experience. And the gorillas were just coming very close, like 5 meters away. But of course, you're not supposed to touch them or anything, because you have to respect wildlife and nature as well.
Yes.
But they come close to you as much as possible, but you have to be very careful. Most of these activities are done in game drives, like you stay in your vehicle, because not all wildlife is safe. Yeah, so but for example, when you go for gorilla tracking, they are rangers that are with you to protect you, so you don't have to worry about security when you go for tracking. You don't have to worry about animals charging towards you. That is why the minimum age for gorilla tracking is actually 15 years, because we believe by that time a child, in case the animal does anything, you know, they are brave enough, they will not scream or whatever. But to answer your question, they can climb 5 meters away. The minimum age for gorilla tracking is 15 years. The minimum age for chimpanzee tracking is 12 years. The regular wildlife safari, there is no age limits. We encourage families to come, little babies, because most of the activities are actually done when you're in the car or done when you're in a boat. So you actually get to see this wildlife when you're seated in that, so it doesn't matter, you could be with your baby and you're watching wildlife.
You mentioned the dishes that people should try.
Yes.
And can you share some traditional Ugandan dishes?
The popular dish that has been selling for Uganda is the Rolex. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the Rolex. And the Rolex is basically chapati, that is flour, and then they make an egg and roll it. It's like a street food kind of thing. But the traditional food is the matoke, that is the steamed banana. We have the green bananas that are steamed, so that is our local food. And then we have the peanuts, the groundnuts. And when clients do come to Uganda, that is the other experience that I was telling you, we actually take them to the local farms and gardens, not just to say, oh, this is Ugandan food, but we take them to the farms and say, this is how it's grown, this is how it's planted, and then they do participate in actually, you know, making the food and then testing it at the end of the day. So we have the matoke, we have the millet, which actually is very healthy. It makes us very strong and energetic, like myself. And
for sure.
We also have posho as well, that is maize flour, and cassava. All our food is organic. That is the beauty about it. We don't have any additions or whatever. So when clients do come and see this organic foods, the fruits, we are so big on fruit. You know, it is really, really nice, and that's why a lot of people don't want to leave. When they come to Uganda, they don't want to leave, because the food is amazing. They fall in love. You can just decide to say, I'm just going to be doing fruits for the whole time, and organic fruits and greens as well.
Many travelers are curious about safety in Uganda. So how would you describe the current safety situation, and what precautions should visitors take?
Well, in terms of security, I would say that Uganda is relatively safe. We've had the same government for close to 40 years now, and I would describe the Ugandan government to be like a military government. So like, people don't mess up in terms of rioting or whatever. And tourism, for example, has been one of the biggest foreign exchange earner, and government is heavily into tourism as well, because it's heavily into tourism, and they know what it brings in, and they know that definitely tourism depends on security. So security is top notch for us. It's one of the top things that the government makes sure that, you know, is taken care of. So I'll say Uganda is very safe. We haven't had any incidents of recent or in the recent past, and it's relatively safe. Of course, just like any other tourist destination, people have to just take care, you know. So you have to use a registered tour operator, book through TripToGo to make sure that, you know, you are safe. Uganda is safe. That's what I should say.
What's the visa process like for travelers visiting Uganda, and any tips for making it easier?
The visa process is actually very, very easy. You just have to go on the website, www.migration.co.ug, and you apply. You have to just make sure that you're applying for the right visa. We have the East African visa if you want to visit like Kenya, if you want to visit Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda. You can apply for the East African visa, which is $100. Or if you just want to do Uganda, you apply for the Ugandan visa, which is $50.
$50.
And it takes about 3 to 4 days. And it's very easy. You just have to make sure you have the right passport, it is valid, you have the invitation letter or any supporting document, you have the yellow fever vaccination, because they'll ask you to upload that information. Okay. So you log on to the website, upload the information like your passport, the vaccination, like the yellow fever vaccination, because it's advisable, and then you're set to go. And then you get your reply, print it out, and come with it at the immigration upon arrival.
Perfect. So how many days is that if they get approved of a visa?
Usually they give you a 30-day first, it's 30 days, either 30 days or 3 months first visa.
And what's the local currency in Uganda, and do you recommend visitors bringing cash, cards, or a mix of both?
The local currency is Ugandan shillings, which to the Canadian dollars is about an exchange of 2,500. But you can either bring in Canadian dollars, which you can change, or you can bring in US dollars. But you can also bring in your Visa card. Visa cards and MasterCards are widely acceptable, but mainly in the major cities and the lodges. You can either pay cash or using your ATM card, but most cases better to have a bit of cash, and just in case the card doesn't work out or the network is down. Remember, we are in Africa. And also, of course, when you're bringing money, you just have to be cautious and make sure that you advise clients to bring in notes, bigger notes. Because for Uganda, for example, and Rwanda, if you take little notes, I'm talking of $10, $20, they'll give you a very low rate. So you have to bring like 100 bill notes or 50 notes, and they are over a year to 2019 and above. Older years are not actually accepted, or if they're accepted, they will give you very, very bad rates.
The ATMs, are they widely available in Uganda?
They are in the major cities, at the airport, of course, and in the major towns. And then, of course, for the Visa cards, you just use them at the hotels.
I see.
Yes.
And when is the best time to travel to Uganda?
That's a very good question. Uganda, you can visit Uganda anytime. Reason being, we are on the equator, and that means that we have a tropical weather. And Uganda is almost warm all throughout. However, we do have some rainy seasons, that is March, April, May, and November. Those are not really very good months to visit. However, they're also good in a way. Those rainy seasons, that's March, April, May, and November, like if you're going for gorilla trekking, you don't have to actually hike up so high because the animals find the food down. So you don't have to climb in the mountains to actually track so many times. So if you want to just track for like 15 minutes and you don't want to track so long, then the rainy season is good for you.
Nice.
However, the best season is from June, July, August, September, and October, and then December, January, and February. Those are the best seasons. However, for groups, we always advise, we always advise to use those other less months, that is March, April, May, and November. Reason being, the gorilla permits, the traffic is not so much, because these gorilla permits are so much on a high demand. Clients sometimes book them like 2 years in advance. So it is better for you to, if you have groups, to use those months, because it doesn't rain in Uganda and Rwanda. It doesn't rain like the whole day. We use 4x4 wheel drive Land Cruisers. So the weather doesn't really affect clients when they go. You just have to have a rain jacket when it go, like when you go for gorilla trekking.
And you provide them?
Yes, and we do provide that, yes. So when it's cold here, just disappear to Uganda.
And what's one thing visitors often overlook or underestimate when planning a trip to Uganda?
What they underestimate sometimes is that they think they can book a trip, they can just jump on a bus or plane and just come and plan everything from Uganda. That is something that people underestimate. We don't have like, I can put in the address for TripToGo and then I'll find it. It is very difficult. It is very difficult. So it is advisable to always go through a tour operator.
I see.
And a registered tour operator. The other thing is the terrain as well. It can sometimes be a little challenging. We don't have all paved roads, especially in the national parks. People need to be prepared. It is adventure. And of course, timekeeping. I'm different, but in Uganda, when you say 9 o'clock, they can appear at 11 o'clock, and it's okay for them.
Yeah.
So that you just have to have a bit of flexibility,
Yes.
and yeah.
And do you have any message to our TripToGo travelers who are thinking of going to Uganda?
Oh, the message that I have for you is that you should actually come and see the real Africa. Uganda is the real Africa, and the people are so friendly. We have a lot of culture. We have a lot to offer. We don't have just the big five, but we also have the mountain gorillas. We do have the tree climbing lions, and those are things that you should not miss out when you come. Make sure that you come and book via TripToGo. You'll be well taken care of. A reliable DMC is waiting for you in Uganda, and you'll not be disappointed. And it's not a trip, it's not a destination like any other. It's different. It has a bit of everything. We have the wildlife, we have the culture, and we have the scenery as well.
Wow, thank you for the wonderful message. And thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me as well. And we can't wait to welcome all your clients from Canada and the US and all over the world. We'll take care of them.
Awesome.
In Uganda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in today. Make sure to follow us for more destination highlights, travel tips, and info sessions around the world. We'll see you guys on our next one. Happy travels from all of us at TripToGo.